That harmonium is very special. It's like the volume is significant. Yeah? That means it's louder? Uh-huh. I like it. Go ahead. Look at this, darling. Are there persons here? Well, there's. Thank you all for being on time, first of all. And I'll remind you when we get going a little bit, the place will be filled and because people come late. But thank you for coming on time. Anyone here that was not with us yesterday evening? Okay. Okay. Probably I should give a little background. So I'm going to be looking at you and helping you get a picture of what we're doing here. Krishna is participating in pastimes in Vrindavan, his childhood pastimes. At this particular age, he's 6 years old. When he was 5, there's a big festival. He graduated from taking care of calves to taking care of the cows. Because when he was littler, he wanted to take care of the cows. His father said, no, they're too big. And you're so small. You can take care of the calves. So he took care of the calves. Then to this day, there's an annual event called Gopastami. Go means cow. They're on the 8th day of a certain calendar month. Then there's a festival. Krishna had the opportunity to start taking care of cows. So there's a few pastimes that happened before this one chronologically. One very important one was the pastime of Krishna manifesting before Lord Brahma unlimited features of Narayana. There's some details with it we don't need to go into, but the cowherd boys experienced the majesty, the mightiness of Krishna. And they knew, and before that, the past times before that, it's important, they had entered into the mouth of a giant serpent who came under the order of Kamsa to kill Krishna. And he had mystic powers. He could assume different forms. And he assumed the form of a giant serpent, Aghasura. A giant guy, like miles long, big. So Krishna, many things happened, but Krishna finished Aghasura, and the cowherd boys went home at the end of that day and said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, guess what? You won't believe it. This is what Krishna did today." And then the parents were going, "What? Who is this little boy?" Because of the potencies of Krishna, they couldn't recognize him as the all-powerful Supreme Lord. They could just see him as their dear friend, or the little boy that he's cute, he does some funny things sometimes. Maybe, who knows what. We don't know who he is, we just love him, that's all. And that's the background for this pastime. So this pastime is, there's a pastime where Krishna enters into the river Jamuna. It's a very sacred river that runs by the side of Vrindavan, right through the middle of Vrindavan, actually. Sacred river Jamuna. And one venomous, poisonous serpent named Kaliya was inhabiting there for many, 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 many years, and had, without all the details, he had made an arrangement so that there was like a lake within the river. The lake within the river was water that didn't flow with the flow of the river water. It became more stagnant in that little section of the river, and it was super poisonous. And the residents of Vrindavan, they knew, stay away from that place, it's poisonous. But Krishna also knew, and he wanted that poisonous serpent should leave, because it wasn't nice. It was very dangerous for the Vrajvasis, etc., etc., and it wasn't nice for the river Jamuna. So he wanted to relieve the river Jamuna and the inhabitants of Vrindavan from this poisonous serpent. So he designed a pastime. And the pastime was, on a particular day when his elder brother Balaram wasn't there, it wasn't there because it was a day where the according to Vedic astrology or astronomy, or the moon passes through each of the constellations of stars in 1 month, and that determines the lunar calendar. And then the next month, and the next month, and the next month. So it's the same moon passing through those constellations of stars. So from our perspective, you look up at the sky, and there's the moon, and then there's the constellation of stars, and the moon is moving in the course of 30 days. So there was on the constellation of Balaram's appearance, in honor of that star constellation, the moon moving through that star constellation, Mother Yasoda wanted to have a festival. So she asked Balaram to stay home. So, and Krishna knew it. It was like, wasn't an accident. He had to not be there because it would have spoiled the pastime. And so, it was in the summer, and in Vrindavan, it's really hot in the summer, really hot. And the cows midday, they became very thirsty. And they didn't know that this particular place in the Jamuna River was poisonous. So they went and drank the water to quench their thirst, and they died. And when the cowherd boys caught up with the cows and saw that they had died, they entered into the river because, along with Krishna being their life and soul, the cows are their life and soul. So they entered into the river, and they died. It's a detail, but there's no such thing. Eternal servants of Krishna don't die. But it was a pastime. And so they became unconscious or they died, whatever. And then Krishna came, and Krishna saw, oh, look at this. Astonishment. It's a rasa. It's a science of rasa. Little bit on the science of rasa. Is that okay? Sure. According to our acharyas, there are 5 principal moods of love, or rasas. And the first one is neutrality, just passive adoration of someone or something or the Supreme. And then servitor, friend, parent, and lover. There's names for Sanskrit for all those 5. So the cowherd boys were situated in friendship with Krishna. Then there's secondary rasas that nourish and enhance and magnify and amplify the primary rasa. One of them is astonishment. So Krishna experienced astonishment in relationship with the cowherd boys. He glanced at the cowherd boys, and they came back to life. And they looked at each other and said, what happened? This must be Krishna, because who else could do? He looked at the other things that he just did, and he just brought us back to life. Our Krishna is so wonderful. And we didn't go beyond that. Krishna is so wonderful. And then Krishna looked at the river, and Krishna had this feeling, again, a strong feeling of affection for the river Jamuna. So he decided, I'm going to do. So he climbed up a tree, and from a tall, very tall tree, from a tall branch of this tall tree, he jumped right into this poisonous water. Big splash, and waves went, in all directions, and he started splashing purposefully. Started splashing around with his arms, making waves, because he wanted Kaliya to come and harass him. He wanted it, and sure enough, ooh, came to my lake. Envy. So he stood in front of Krishna, then he tried he had 1,000 hoods, he tried to bite Krishna. And Krishna was ready. And, this and that, Krishna started swimming around and around and around and around, and Kaliya got dizzy. He was a good swimmer. He was the best at everything. And when Kaliya got dizzy, then Krishna said, now's my chance. He jumped up and reached for the hoods of Kaliya, but Kaliya was quick too. Kaliya wrapped him in his coils, and the cowherd boys on the shore saw Krishna, who was their protector, in danger. Another rasa, another emotion, transcendental emotion of love. And someone saw this, and they ran quickly back to Krishna's home, interrupting the birthday party for Balaram, and said, hurry up, Krishna's in the clutches of the Kaliya serpent. They came running. It's a long distance, but they moved quickly. When they saw Krishna in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, he stayed in that position for hours. And they couldn't handle it. Balaram the older brother of Krishna. Balaram is very strong. That's what his name means. Bala means strong. Spiritual strong, but also the other kind, strong. Very strong. So he stopped them. No. Then Krishna understood this is getting very dangerous, so he decided to get free from the coils of the Kaliya serpent. So he expanded his body, because Krishna has powers. He became bigger. We're going to hear some prayers. He's bigger than the biggest and smaller than the smallest. It's right within the Upanishads. Anor Aniyangsa Manusmarantyaha. So he became bigger, and Kaliya serpent expanded his coils so he could still keep him in his coils, and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden Krishna got really small. Escaped the coils of the Kaliya serpent, and then rounded around in circles and got onto the hoods of the Kaliya serpent and started dancing. Our acharyas say Krishna wanted to show the young girls how good a dancer he was, because he's the best of dancers. And he danced and danced and danced, and he really danced. The platform was 1,000 hoods of the Kaliya serpent, so he took from this hood to that hood, and boopity boopity boop, and he was dancing wildly. And he also made his body heavy, so that when he was dancing on the hoods, he was smashing the hoods. And there was a purpose. The purpose was to purify, because he wanted this fellow out of here. But rather than just say, get out of town, he purified him first by dancing on his hoods. And dancing and dancing and dancing and dancing. And sometimes Kali would raise one of his hoods and again try to bite Krishna, and Krishna pounce on that hood. And by after some hours, his blood was coming out of his mouth, and he was smashed. And a little light went on, saying, this isn't just a little boy. This is the Supreme Person dancing on my hoods. And he wanted to speak, but he couldn't speak because his heads were all smashed. Fortunately for him, he had wives, plural, many wives. They were also serpents. And then the wives came forward and started offering prayers. That's what we discussed yesterday. There's a set of prayers that's a big section, which is ours yesterday and today's, the prayers of the wives of the Kaliya serpent. So Krishna accepted their prayers. And here's what we saw yesterday. There's 6 verses where they acknowledge, yes, our husband, the Kaliya serpent, was deserving punishment. So what you did was right. Well done, well done. And then they had 10 verses, which we're going to be discussing just shortly. 10 verses, they offered obeisances. When you hear these obeisances, I went through it again a couple of times today, and I was thinking, gosh, these ladies were scholars. Where'd they learn all this stuff? It's really elevated stuff. They must have had a good teacher somewhere, because they're serpents, and they're married to a bad guy, like one that wants to kill Krishna by biting him, etc. Very elevated. And then the final section, which we'll also discuss, another 5 verses, they make a request. The request is, please spare our husband. He's fit to be punished, but don't dance more, please, because he'll die. And if he dies, that's a problem for him, and it's a problem for us, because we will be without a husband. We need his protection. But you purified him, so he's a great devotee, so because he's a great devotee, protect him. Very reasonable. And that's today's discussion. That's the outline of the discussion. So here's a little warm-up. The test of our bhakti is whether we remember Krishna when in our tough times. So it's easy. Krishna, get me out of my tough time. I got a problem. Please solve my problem. Thank you very much. That's, common. But there's something more that we can do besides just petitioning Krishna as our order supplier to do this and take care of that. And then one response is, well, it's really nice if you are not just caught up in the moment of problem solving, but you can think of Krishna and think of some nice prayers to glorify Krishna, because that's what the wives did. They got a big problem. Their husband's dying, and Krishna smashed him. He did the right thing to smash him, but they want to ask him something like, please pardon him. He's fit to be punished, but please pardon him. So there's some prayers, and you hear these prayers with this idea. You may not remember, that's okay. The prayers are they're appreciating features of Krishna's supremacy, because he's a person, and he's the supreme person. Now, every person has some abilities, some capabilities, some gifts, but Krishna is the gift giver. He's the source. So they're honoring him in that way. So recite a prayer before requesting. And by doing so, our consciousness can shift from thinking self-centered to thinking Krishna-centered, and help us remember that he's, after all, a person, as we are persons, and we're making an appeal to a person, so it's nice to honor the person, not just say, gimme, gimme, gimme. That's the idea. So hear these prayers, if you can, in that mood. Now, most of these are with some singing, and I hope it works. The technology doesn't always work. But here's the dry run, let's see. Oh, look at that.
Namastubhyam bhagavate Purushaya Mahatmane Bhutavasaya Bhutaya Paraya Paramahane. We offer our obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although present in the hearts of all living beings as the Super Soul. You're all pervasive. Although the original shelter of all created material elements, you exist prior to their creation. And although the cause of everything, you're transcendental to all material cause and effect, being the Supreme Soul.
Note, there's contradictions, apparent contradictions. He's in the heart, and he's all pervasive. We're in the room, but we're not simultaneously everywhere outside the room. That's not possible. That's a contradiction. It's a conflict. We can't be all pervasive anyways, but Krishna has a feature that's all pervasive, but he's also, as the super soul, in the heart of everyone. And then his position as the source, even of the material elements, he's the source of all material elements, and he exists prior to those material elements because he's the source. And although you're the cause of everything, you're transcendental to material cause and effect. So he's a spiritual cause that brings about the cause and effect of the material world. So commentary, a little bit. This is from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He's going to go through these terms. Paraya, Paramatmane. Paramatma is the super soul. I offer my respects to the Lord who controls all, who inspires everything, meaning Supersoul oversees everything. He's Upadrashta, he oversees, and he also Anumanta, he permits. By the order of the Lord, all are engaged in action, but not being touched by the faults of persons engaged, he dispenses punishment, etc., in an astonishing way. Or, and this is commentary of our Vishwanath, this is Sanatana Goswami. Pariah can mean the person who is situated separately from all others and who is in the hearts of all beings. And here's the meanings of, again, Sridhar Swami and Sanatana Goswami, Purushaya Mahatmane. Purushaya, Purusha, he is the Lord, and he is spread everywhere. Purushaya. Though he is the controller of all jivas, Bhutavasaya, he appears in the form of the jiva, or he lives amongst the people and takes birth. Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janma Vado. This is a verse from later 10th canto, chapter 90. Krishna eternally lives among the cowherd men and the Yadavas, and is conclusively both the son of Devaki and Yashoda, which is not possible. You can be the son of this one or the son of that one, but the son of both? But Krishna can do that. This is the verse number. We're going up to I forget the verse number. 52, something like that. No, 49. Okay, here's the verse. Jnana Vijnana Nidhaye Brahmane Nanda Shaktare Agunaya Vikaraya Namaste Prabhutaya Cha.
Obeisances unto you, the Absolute Truth, who are the reservoir of all transcendental consciousness and potency, and the possessor of unlimited energies. Although completely free of material qualities and transformations, you are the prime mover of material nature.
Again, who knows what school these ladies went to, but they're very elevated understandings, and they're fortunate. They're face to face with this person who they're addressing, and they have these understandings about who this person is. He's not just the one who danced on her husband's hoods, but he's all these things. He's the supreme person. You're the prime mover of material nature. In this verse, he is described as the object of Gyanis. Who are the Gyanis? Jnana means knowledge. So those who are trying to understand the source of everything by cultivation of knowledge, not by devotion, but by cultivation of knowledge. So he's described as the object of Gyanis. We, ladies, offer respects as the goal of the Gyanis to he who is the reservoir of all knowledge and Chit Shakti, or knowledge and realized knowledge. He's the ocean of knowledge and realized knowledge, just as the ocean is the reservoir of all gems. It's poetic expression, but he is the Supreme Person, but the Supreme Person may not be understood as a person by a certain group of people, those that study by their empiric powers, their intellectual powers, and they try to understand the Supreme in that method. You are knowledge itself and an ocean of vijnana meaning realization. These are two Acharya's comments from this verse. We offer respects to He whose qualities do not transform into material qualities. Agunaya, avikaraya. Vikara means transformation. There's no transformation of His qualities because His qualities are not material anyways. We offer respects to He who has variety of non-material qualities. The material qualities inferred by the foolish persons are rejected in your human-like form, which is worshipped by the devotee. So here's a nice, he's with Mother Yashoda, and he's in his little baby Krishna form, although he's the Supreme Person. She's milking a cow, and he's just hugging his mother, being a little boy, hugging his mother, as if he's a little boy. And Mother Yashoda has one of those 5 rasas that we mentioned, parental rasa, deep, 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 transcendently profound feeling of love for Krishna. So mothers have love for their children, and that love of mothers for children is a reflection of the real love that's there between Krishna and his mother Yashoda and mother Devaki. So he has a human-like form, and that human-like form is worshipped by the devotee. Next.
Kaliya-damana-lila, Kaliya-damana-lila, Vishwanadrashre, Tatkarte Vishwanadrashre.
Obeisances unto you, who are time itself, the shelter of time, and the witness of time in all its phases. You are the universe and also its separate observer. You are its creator and also the totality of all its causes.
So the word kala means time, and as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, kalosmi, time I am, the destroyer of all things, kala. So this is the wives of the Kaliya serpent that are just expanding on what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. He's not only time itself, kalosmi, but he's the shelter of time, because kala is also an energy, kala shakti, and he is the shelter of that shakti. He is the shaktiman of the energy of time, and the witness of time in all its phases. All the phases of time are material. The time in the spiritual world is also present, but it's not past, present, future in phases. It's eternal, which is mystery. I mean, how do you picture eternal time? Something that has no beginning and end. How do you put that in your mind and close your eyes and meditate on that which has no beginning and end? You are its creator and also the totality of all its causes. Though the Lord appears in time and space, that is to say, he creates the material world and then he enters into that world which he creates, and he's not part of that world which he creates, but it's his energy. He is not affected by the qualities of material time and space. We pay respects to you, who are time, Kala Swarup. You're the shelter of time, Kala Nabhaya. You're the witness of the divisions of time, Kala Avyaya, Avyava, Shakshi. You are the witness, but not contaminated. We pay respects to you, who are the form of the universe, Vishwa, but not touched by it, being not only its witness, but its controller. Upadrashtre. You are not only its controller, but its cause. He's a busy person, huh? And he doesn't do anything at the same time. It's kind of mystical, isn't it? What more can be said? We offer respects to you. Verse 42.
Bhutamātrindriya prāṇā manobuddhyāyāpane triguṇeya gūಢasvānubhutaye.
Obeisance is unto you, who are the ultimate soul of the physical elements, of the subtle basis of perception, of the senses, of the vital air of life, and of the mind, intelligence, and consciousness. By your arrangement, the infinitesimal spirit souls falsely identify with the three modes of material nature, and their perception of their own true self thus becomes clouded.
Now this is verse 42, and the way the BBT has juxtaposed 42 is combined with 43. So here they're separated, but BBT has made them combined. But that's okay. We'll use this version. But you are not just the cause. You are the very soul of the material elements, giving them life. But what is remarkable is that giving them life, you make those who are full of life to appear like matter. You cover the knowledge, anubhuti, of the jivas, svatma, by the three gunas. Like lots of contradictions, right? At least apparent contradictions. And then this verse goes with the prior verse.
Namo Nandaya Sukshaya Kutasaya Vipaschite Nānāvānirodhāya
We offer our obeisances unto you, the unlimited Supreme Lord, the supremely subtle one, the omniscient personality of Godhead, who are always fixed in unchanging transcendence, who sanction the opposing views of different philosophies, and who are the power upholding expressed ideas and the words that express them.
There's something that he doesn't do, it sounds like. He does everything, and then he doesn't do the everything, and then these ladies, what's coming is they're going to make a request. But before they make a request, they're making it clear that they know who they're making the request of. And Krishna is very pleased, not just because they're flattering him, but because they've clearly understood who he is, and in this way they're taking shelter of him in full, proper knowledge. I offer respects to the giver of awareness to the elements, sense objects, senses, life airs, mind, and intelligence. I offer respects to the giver of knowledge, Atma, to the jivas covered by conceptions of the three gunas. So living entities are covered by material conceptions, which is arranged by Krishna, and he arranges to remove those coverings and just disclose to the living entity who they really are. You are the greatest in size and the smallest. In style, she's good. Okay. You are unchanging, Kutasthaya, and are the teacher of various arts. You instigate many philosophies. From you arises the power of meaning in words.
Nama pramana-mulaya kavaye shasayore pravruttaya nigamaya namaha.
We offer our obeisances again and again to you, who are the basis of all authoritative evidence, who are the author and ultimate source of the real scriptures, and who have manifested yourself in those Vedic literatures, encouraging sense gratification, as well as in those encouraging renunciation of the material world.
Meaning, there's sections of the Vedas. The Vedas are called a desire tree, which means that which can produce any amount of fruit of any variety at any season at any time. And things that people want in this world abundantly is material. So the Vedas provide means to get material. And the Vedas, Krishna is the source of the Vedas, he provides the understanding for those that don't want the material world, but they want the spiritual world instead. So how to detach themselves from the material and enter into the spiritual realm. That's within the Vedas also, the more elevated sections of the Vedas. If we did not have the powers of perception and cognition, evidence could not be transmitted. If we had no tendency to believe in particular modes of evidence, persuasion could not take place. All these processes, perception, cognition, persuasion, transmission, take place through the various potencies of the Supreme Lord. He's got us covered. We pay our respects to the root proof, Srimad Bhagavatam, the topmost scriptural proof, Mula, Pramana, and to Vedavyas, its composer, Kavaye. The meaning is in the form of Vyasa himself. So that's what this image is meant to show. There's the personality of Godhead, or his incarnation Vyas, shining light on Krishna in this dark world down here. We pay respects to you who reveal the scriptures. We pay respects unto the scriptures, propounding Artha, Dharma, Kama, and Moksha. Both privritti and nivritti. That means progressive enjoyment, progressive detachment. And unto you, the root of both. Pretty comprehensive set of prayers by these nice ladies.
Namo Krishnaya Vasudevaya
We offer our obeisances to Lord Krishna and Lord Rama, the sons of Vasudeva, and to Lord Pradyumna and Lord Aniruddha. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Master of all the saintly devotees of Vishnu.
Here they're addressing the Chaturvyuha Murtis. Chaturvyuha means these four. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. They're addressing, the wives, are addressing themselves, looking at Krishna because he's the source of all four. By addressing Krishna, they addressed Vasudeva and Rama. In this case, Rama means Balarama, Sankarshan, and then they say Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And furthermore, the word Cha here indicates the son of Nanda. We offer respects to all these forms, to the son of Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sutta, and to Nanda's son as well. Sattvatam Patihi can mean the protector of devotees, or protector of Vasudeva and the Sattvata dynasty. That's Sridhar Swami's commentary. And we're nearing an end of these prayers of glorification because we're going to go quickly to their request. Please release our husband. Gunadrashtre Sasandinde.
Obeisances to you, O Lord, who manifest varieties of material and spiritual qualities. You disguise yourself with the material qualities, and yet the functioning of those same material qualities ultimately reveals your existence. You stand apart from the material qualities as a witness and can be fully known only by your devotees.
This is an important, philosophers get all tangled up with this topic. Does the personality of Godhead, who's all spiritual, is he a source of material? How can he be the source of material since he's all spiritual? And you folks, you Hare Krishna folks, you Vaishnavas, you claim that he enters into the material world but doesn't take part in the affairs of the material world. But you disguise yourself with the material qualities, yet the functioning of those same material qualities ultimately reveals your existence. It's not that it's not exactly the material qualities reveal. He reveals his existence through the material qualities. It's like the Vibhuti Yoga section, the opulences of the absolute section of the Bhagavad Gita. Of the this, I am that, and the other thing. So he makes himself perceivable through his material manifestations. He makes it like that. So it's a step in the direction of reawakening our forgotten relationship with Krishna by seeing him within everything. And it's making that statement that's like the echo of what the main message of Kapila-Dev that we'll be speaking about this weekend. The main message of Kapila-Dev is to know God without honoring the presence of God within all living entities as Supersoul and as a deity form of the Lord in their heart as Supersoul. You haven't even begun devotional service properly. And that's most of us. We discussed it a little bit in our morning class, but that's the message. So you stand apart from the material qualities as a witness and can be fully known only by your devotees. So guna pradipaya. For the devotees, you are the revealer of your spiritual qualities arising from your swarup, or spiritual form. As Lord of the devotees, you reveal qualities such as mercy. Hint, the wives are going to ask Krishna to be merciful. You are the revealer. You are revealed, by exchanges in which you are bound by affection to the devotees, like Mother Yasoda was bound by the ropes of Mother Yashoda in the Damodar-lila. You also hide your nature by disappearing sometimes. One can see you by going beyond the screen of material nature, and therefore you are called Gunatma Chadanaya. Gunatma. Chada means hidden. You're hidden behind this material nature, but you have to go beyond the material nature to understand Krishna. If one methodically and intelligently studies the functioning of the material qualities, he will ultimately conclude that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Upalakshaya. Laksha means characteristics. So that through the gunas one can understand the characteristics of the Supreme, if one is careful and intelligently and methodically studies material nature. Guna drashtre sva samvide. That Lord sees the good qualities in his devotee, not the faults. And he appears, samvit, in his devotees' hearts. Swa samvit. Next.
Vyagritamihārāya sarvavyagritasidhare vishirīpanamasteyo manayevāshadriye.
O Lord Rishikesha, Master of the senses, please let us offer our obeisances unto you, whose pastimes are inconceivably glorious. Your existence can be inferred from the necessity for a creator and revealer of all cosmic manifestations. But although your devotees can understand you in this way, to the non-devotees you remain silent, absorbed in self-satisfaction.
Avyakrita, or unexplained. Avyakrita vihara means your pastimes are inexpressible and inexplicable, even by scripture. You have pastimes which appear material, but are not. You perform your pastimes without any specific formalities or pomp, like love without marriage, etc. You endow the devotee with abilities to serve you perfectly. Munaye means, for those devoid of bhakti, you are Atma Rama, or a Muni, and you're silent. Mona Shiline means, for those who pray for fulfillment of desires, you are silent, neither bestowing happiness or relieving distress. And this is, I think, the last of the glorifications.
Obeisances unto you, who know the destination of all things, superior and inferior, and who are the presiding regulator of all that be. You are distinct from the universal creation, and yet you are the basis upon which the illusion of material creation evolves, and also the witness of this illusion. Indeed, you are the root cause of the entire world.
These ladies are philosophers. Now, this very same section found in 10th Canto, Chapter 16, is also described in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. A little background. Laghu Bhagavatamrita is a wonderful text composed by one of the 6 Goswamis, namely Rupa Goswami. And the focus of Laghu Bhagavatamrita is simply incarnations of the Supreme Lord, avatars of the Supreme Lord. And here's what Rupa Goswami writes. The reason for this pastime is given in this verse. Fantastic, let's hear the reason. You are knowledge of the destination of all beings, since you are the one with knowledge. But you cannot be understood. You are visible to the eyes of all. The universe does not exist in you, but it was seen in your stomach. When Mother Yasoda looked in Krishna's mouth to see if he had eaten dirt, she saw the universe in his stomach. When Brahma's illusion was removed, you remained as a witness of the universe, with yogurt, rice in your hand, with the nature of not hiding anything, not showing that you performed all those feats, but in each of these 4-handed forms, you were the cause and maintenance of the universe. Kind of mysterious, huh? As the shelter of contrary qualities, Krishna is shown, which is a preposition missing, Krishna is shown to have inconceivable Shakti. By that, his power is shown. This was mentioned before. Since you are the abode of contrary qualities, you should be merciful to Kaliya, who is to be punished. Very clever, huh? They made a good case that he's the abode of contrary qualities. Like, you could study that for weeks and have your head spin just trying to understand exactly what's being said. So, why not? So here's a repeat. We just completed the middle. The first 6 of this is just the prayers of the wives. They express their agreement with the punishment. In 10 verses, they offer obeisances to Lord Hari. And now, almost done, another 5 verses, the wives submit their prayerful request. That's next, and we're going to end with that. Nagapatni submit prayerful request, next 5 verses. Lagu Bhagavatamrita, once again, commenting, because it's very active in commenting on this particular scene. What fault does he have? I, full of power, gave him the snake body. In 5 verses, they answer. This is text 49. You create, maintain, and destroy all the universes through Kala Shakti and Gunas simply by your glance. Lagu Bhagavatamrita is commenting. In waking the conditioned jivas by your glance, there is suitability. You possess natural power in the form of time. You awaken impressions of ancient karma marked by the gunas. The jiva's faults arise from the actions they performed, not from what you did. The Lord is like the rain cloud, equal to all. Again, Padma Purana says, I perform various actions in order to please my devotee. So they understand him in ways that most people don't understand him. And one of the things they understand about him is he reciprocates with the moods of love of his devotees, particularly. The 3 types of bodies, those that are peaceful, mode of goodness, agitated, passion, and foolish, ignorance, are all your creations. Still, those who are in sattva guna are dear to you. It is to protect their dharma that you have descended. Notice the sequence. Because they're going to say, you've elevated our husband, sinful husband, to the position of mode of goodness by trouncing on his hoods. And he's now in the mode of goodness. So, and you've come to protect their dharma. Hint. A master should tolerate an offense committed by his child or subject. O supreme peaceful soul, you should therefore forgive our foolish husband, who did not understand who you are. When he was trying to bite you or put you in the coils and, squeeze you, and, he was not nice, but he didn't understand who you were. Again, Lagu Bhagavatamrita. It is proper that you forgive him. The offense committed by the citizen should be tolerated and forgiven by the master, the nourisher, who is like a father. You should completely forgive, since you are the embodiment of peacefulness. By his nature, as a species in ignorance, he was devoid of knowledge and thus did not recognize you. Even when you displayed astonishing pastimes, he could not recognize you. But after pounding, and a little light went on and said, oh, wait a minute. I know who this person is. Let me surrender to him. So coming after they finish their prayers, then Kaliya is going to offer his prayers. That's tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, tomorrow. Krishna saying to them, you want me to forgive him? I have diagnosed his disease and given him the treatment. He is now cured, but in order to wipe out the remnants of disease, I must stamp on his head 7 or 8 times more. Notice the picture. You should permit this. And then the Nagapatnis say, by giving him this strong medicine of punishment, some more mercy to purify him of all fault, he may die. For he has already come to the stage of departing from his body. Notice in the background, that's the cows upside down. Got her boys getting revived because Krishna glanced at them. Krishna is saying to the Nagapatnis, what does it matter if he gives up this snake body? What can he do with this body? Better that he get a spiritual body as my devotee. Good logic. Nagapatnis, if we beautiful women become widows, we'll be engaged by force to enjoy with another sinful snake. But Kaliya has now become a Vaishnava and has become our very life, an object of our affection. It is proper, next verse, it is proper for the saintly to feel compassion for women like us. This serpent is about to give up his life. Please give us back our husband, who is our life and soul. Now these elevated, super elevated ladies are making an appeal. The Krishna's not going to say no. Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Remember your promise. This is 11th canto Bhagavatam. Krishna made a promise. I am the ultimate shelter for the distress. Artanam sharanam tvaham. Even if you do not show mercy to him, show mercy to us. We are women in a lamentable position because we have no independence. Krishna, all right, take your husband. I'm giving, but I make this order which you must follow. Yes, we will follow. Give us the order. Comes at the end. Because after they, then Kaliya, and then Krishna speaks. He gives the order. Finally, their last verse. Please tell us, your maidservants, what we should do. Certainly anyone who faithfully executes your order is automatically freed from all fear. So that's the end. Coming attractions. After hearing his wives offer their prayers, he appreciates them and appreciates the quality of their prayers. And he's then going to offer his prayers. And then Krishna is going to respond and give his order. You see what his order is. He's pointing with his finger or with his arm. Get out of town. Don't come back again. So the river Jamuna can become purified and become nice again. Okay. Those that you came in a little bit later, you missed a really nice kirtan at the beginning. So maybe tomorrow you can take this nice harmonium and it's really loud and don't even need amplification and it fills this whole room with nice sound and has a nice voice. Okay. Comments or questions? Yes, Varsana.
I don't have a particular question, but I was thinking in the mood of this inconceivable nature of the Lord, where there is qualities that are seemingly opposite. I was thinking, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear, right, like Krishna takes his finger and touches the water. neck, and then the head is separated from the body.
Yeah.
And here he is dancing on him for a long time.
Long time, the whole day.
And nothing happens to him. He's not died yet.
What's going on?
I was thinking that if we put our logic to it, there is no way we can
There's no
accept.
logic.
There is no way we can accept and hear these pastimes. That was one thing. And the second thing I was thinking was, you were mentioning at the start, this lake, it was poisoned. The birds would fall. We saw the cows and the cowherd boys, they almost died. Whereas in the Milky Ocean, when they were churning, poison came out of it. And it almost seemed like nothing was happening, even though poison was present in the Milky Ocean. So many contradictions. But
Now that has an easy answer. That particular one has an easy answer. It's Lord Shiva drank didn't drink, but he held it in his throat.
right.
Because he's capable. But it is a contradiction. This particular pastime was discussed by Radhika Raman, and Vaisheshika Prabhu asked the question. You heard the recording. The question he asked is, "What's the poison?" And then the very, very practical answer: have you noticed that some persons who get knowledge from the Vedas, they become proud? That's poison. That's the poison. It's not that that which comes from the milk ocean is poison, but you get knowledge that comes from transcendence, and one can misuse it and act like poison to others, and they pass on the poison to others. It's very dangerous. That's the poison, pride. But back to Kaliya. Our acharyas don't give to my knowledge at least, they don't give the explanation of why on the one hand Krishna kills some demons, and on the other hand Krishna purified Kaliya to the point where he became realized pure devotee. So Krishna saw something within him that he didn't see within the others that he killed. So the others were incorrigible, so he just liberated them. On Sunday, one of the things that happens on Sunday in our Vaishnava calendar is Shivaratri. Tomorrow's Ekadasi. Sunday is Shivaratri. So I was thinking, we're not going to be able to glorify Lord Shiva on Shivaratri, so maybe we can do it in our morning class. Because in our morning class, it's the end of chapter 1, and Sati, one of the daughters of Daksha, marries Lord Shiva, and her father didn't like it. So he vilified Lord Shiva, and he lost his head. But the Shiva Tattva is a nice topic. It's not exactly this evening's discussion, but it's for the weekend and the morning classes, at least because what we're doing over the weekend. So some persons who are worshippers of Lord Shiva will be disappointed, I guess. But they'll be satisfied because the topics will be very nice. I'm saying because I'm thinking what's going to be what should be the topic on Sunday evening? Shivaratri is not on the topic of Vaishnava etiquette. Let's see. Okay. So Krishna saw something. He's omniscient, and he knew something, saw something, and he doesn't need to be killed. He just needs to be purified. So that's what he did, and it was painful. He got smashed, but he got purified. So sometimes getting smashed means getting purified. I see several hands. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Couple reflections. First one, I was thinking, generally when we hear prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam, it starts glorification. It starts with the glorification and offering obeisances. But here they directly they're directly going to
Keep going. Just speak, and he'll fiddle over here. He has a dial.
they're directly going to agreeing that the punishment was just, and then going to glorifying him and offering obeisances. Just observing.
Different.
Yeah. And then from yesterday evening class, Guru Maharaj, we were seeing Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the touch of it. And when we don't have the access, we have the access for a pure devotee's lotus. Yeah. So I was thinking, we have the opportunity for the pure devotee's lotus feet and hearing, but still, if we don't understand the rarity and the fortune of that, we may just take it for granted.
Yeah.
And I was connecting to today's verse where I think it's text 47. It says, Krishna just remains silent for the non-devotees or persons who are not open to receive him.
You're making these are reflections, and I'm smiling.
I was thinking another point, Guru Maharaj, when they were saying you don't take offense when a child or your subordinate makes the offense. And for me, it's so similar to Lord Brahma's prayers. And it's very, it's very inspiring to see, yes, I have committed so many offenses and mistakes, but where else can I go to? Who else can I take shelter of? Just going to Krishna and, just submissively offering our heart, and just who else can rectify me? So it's just very heart-moving.
Just on that note, I got a 3-page letter followed by another 1-page letter from someone that was saying just exactly that. That was what they got from this because I did a dry run of our seminar in central New Jersey. And that's the light that went on for them. How many, they not just in their relationship with their spiritual master, but in relationship with others and others and others, and deficient. And I didn't see it when I was doing it, but now I see it. And here's what I need to do besides feel repentance. I need to some practical steps in the direction of rectification, and hope that person will accept the effort that I'm making, and if they don't, then I'll keep doing it anyways, because their heart may soften. It wasn't like a grievous, but it was something mild, and they felt really badly about even that something that was mild. And that's Vaishnava. Go ahead. Up front, you have something. It works. Just fiddle.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. First of all, thank you very much. I felt like you took us to that era. It was very picturesque explanation of what happened. It was so. I don't know. I'm sort of words. Directly to now question. Couple of things. One thing that Krishna's nature, you mentioned materialistic yet spiritual. And sometime I was going through, there is something Einstein explains, saying God is explained by E equal to mc square, where he is doing energy and mass conversion. So I'm not sure what it's just correlating. That went into it. Maybe it's just kind of making my equation in the mind. It might not be of much relevance when it comes to Krishna. And second thing is like these ladies who are praying for her husband, when even if he is a very venomous and bad kind of person, I'd say. In this time we get angry for small deeds upon our partners. So I don't know, like that's also a kind of lesson, I would say, I'm learning from this whole thing. They are praying so much and asking for living him. It's like almost a story of Savitri and Satyavan, I think, leaving the husband behind when Yama came to take the life of Satyavan. Yeah, that's the two things, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Online, go ahead.
So there are two questions from Rajeshwari Pran Mataji from St. Louis. So the first question is, I have a question regarding Krishna's mercy in the guise of punishment. When I go through difficulties, to think it's Krishna's sanction for my karma and shelter taking, that much is okay. But to go beyond this intellectual understanding and to accept the hardships as Krishna's mercy, to feel Krishna's presence in our life in the form of difficulties and reversals, needs maturity.
Yeah.
If I fail to recognize Krishna's mercy behind my difficulties, that mercy can pass by unnoticed. So my question is, what practical steps can I take to consciously accept life's difficulties as Krishna's mercy and use them as tools to deepen my relationship with him?
Become Krishna conscious. There are key passages. I recommend, if this is something that is recurring, then one method you can do is find certain passages from the scripture. Bhagavatam is a great place, and learn verses that are instructive to how you or any one of us that are having difficulties should process them. one of those is the outstanding verse Tattenu Kampam Susimikshimano from 10th Canto, Chapter 14. Make note of it. Tat te nukampam susamikshimano. It's an instruction by Lord Brahma. He's praying to Krishna, but those who undergo those difficulties without their mind budging an inch from the lotus feet of Krishna, they're eligible to enter into the spiritual world. So tribulation isn't new to you or to anybody. That this is the nature of the place. So how to handle those, so find those sections of the Bhagavatam that are instructive. Become not, certain verses are very powerful and prominent, but the scene is also, I mean, in for example, in Brahma's case, he's going to get spanked. He's going to get some severe punishment because what he did was really bad. X, Y, and Z. He stole Krishna's calves and cowherd boys. He's due to be punished severely. He interrupted Krishna's pastimes. He's due to be punished severely. He tried to use his mystic power to put them to sleep, which he couldn't happen, but he tried. So, 3 strikes and you're out. So he was in a position where he was going to get it, and he was ready to get it, but without whining and complaining. Why why? It's just accepting. In his case, he knew what the cause would have been. That's not what happened. He didn't get punished. He got relieved, as Kaliya got relieved. So find passages where the context and then the specific prayer or the verse that says how you should repose your mind. Become familiar with those. If you don't know, ask those that are more familiar with Scripture, and start a little project of learning those passages, both the pastime and the verses, and take shelter there. And there's power. There's spiritual power in those pastimes and those messages within the pastimes of how to take proper shelter. And you'll feel it. Guaranteed. Yeah?
She had the next
Part
question.
2. Yeah.
The section of Nagapatni's glorification and obeisances in the form of prayers are sincere and philosophical. Srimad Bhagavatam has so many prayers, and even though each set of prayers are unique, some also sound redundant. And the prayers are by the devotees who had personal association with Krishna. And I have likings for certain prayers. How do I study those prayers and feel their prayers and connect with Krishna the way they did to some extent?
Well, two things. Be very careful with criticizing the Bhagavatam in the language like it's redundant. Caution. That's offense. Because there's nothing in the Bhagavatam. If there's repetition, there's a purpose. Prabhupada's statement, repetition is sometimes necessary for clear understanding. How many times did Prabhupada say certain phrases over and over? Necessary for clear understanding. And so that goes inside because we're thick, dense, dull, headed, so that it goes into the heart. Repetition may be necessary, not redundant. Then comes the how-to. So from your heart. And this sounds like, one of the difficulties is, well, wait a minute, if I start softening my heart, then I'm going to be even more distressed by the reversals. I'm going to feel more negative emotion if my heart becomes soft. So I'm going to keep my heart soft, hard. That's a big mistake. Big mistake. And it's an unnecessary mistake, because it leads to more of the same of what you're already experiencing, and then it becomes worse. So stand by light and darkness goes away. Stand by fire, you become warm. Stand by the association of that which is pure, supremely pure, you become purified. It's by the principle of association. So then, how to is just by continued, those that are more skilled or more spiritually advanced, serve them and offer respects to them and seek their blessings, and through their blessings, then maybe you get more of an opportunity to experience what you're not experiencing, or you wish to experience more than what you're experiencing today. By the blessings of advanced persons, they have that capacity, and we just have to be receptive to that capacity. And that's what our seminar. I'll be giving the same seminar or another version of it when I go to St. Louis next week. And so come to the classes and or hear them online or whatever you're going to do, and receive. The potency is there in the message of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribol.
I don't know how to say this. When the spiritual master speaks, it's actually, especially the Krishna Katha, in reference to the Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear, it's actually we are here experiencing the aroma of saffron particles, lotus feet of Krishna's.
You're a poet. But that's what Scripture says.
Yeah. So I was just referring to that and thinking about it. That's actually Krishna is actually stepping on Kaliya and giving his mercy, so much mercy, and how much saffron particles on his whole.
Yeah.
So when we are hearing this Krishna Katha, we are purified. And what about Krishna stamping on them? How much Kaliya is purified.
Yeah.
So, and now we are all hearing in the association from you, saffron particles and aroma, we can see the. So, that's just trying to appreciate, Maharaj. Thank you.
Your poetry is fantastic. Back there, all the way in the back.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Something that really struck me, you mentioned the light bulb went on for Kaliya.
Twice I said that.
Yes, twice, Maharaj. So what I was thinking, it may be a two-part question. In respect to association of devotees, sometimes it takes time for the light bulb to go on that somebody is a devotee.
Yeah.
It does go on sometimes, not always. And the second piece is that bulb doesn't stay on. We recognize somebody as a good devotee, and then after a week, we forget it. How to overcome this?
Krishna consciousness. The same as, from those that are fixed, serve them and seek their blessings. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya. So you ask for the kripa from those who are fixed, so that you can become fixed and serve with them in a fixed way. It's an open secret. Shh, tell everybody. This is sadhu sangha, that's how. And then how do you best associate with sadhu? At their feet. Look up and serve. Find out what they want, and you assist them with what they want. So ultimately there's our founder Acharya, and then his spiritual master and a predecessor. So we serve those personalities. We follow the mood and the mission of them, and where we're deriving their strength, and through purification, it takes time. Uttaha nishchaya dharyat. It takes time. Are you patient or impatient? Sounds like a little of both.
Yes. Maharaj, the part I struggle with is when I serve somebody very closely, I see
familiarity.
Yes.
We're going to touch on that too. Yeah. Then I spoke. It's a nice topic. I like speaking on nice topics. There are persons who had Prabhupada's association as his personal servant, and they became familiar, and they fell. And there are persons that had Prabhupada's intimate association for extended periods of time, and they didn't fall. So why? Why that? Because they didn't. They stayed in the mood of humble service. Trinadapi, Siddhi. So Sikshastika 3, immerse yourself in it. And you can start with how you chant your japa. And then how you live your life, along with how you chant your japa, or how you call upon the holy name. And there's different ways of calling upon the holy name. So it's to have the right mood and receive the right mood from those who have the right mood. Be in the association, find and serve those who have that exalted mood. Stay there and serve. And that mood becomes your mood. By association and by practice. Yeah. We're going to call on somebody else. That's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Move past the microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. With my limited understanding in this whole pastime, what I've grasped is that the Naga Patnis were great devotees.
Oh boy.
And they must have conquered their anger, seeing what their husband has been doing. Yeah. And anger is one of those qualities that what I've heard is that anger destroys a good devotee also. Like, you can be a good devotee, but if you haven't conquered your anger, you're not such a good devotee. It's one of your qualities.
There's other things that conquered besides that one too.
Yeah. So they must have conquered that. And I feel like their shelter was the scriptures, because when they're saying they're delivering the prayers, it's coming from scriptures. And we so convinced that they must have taken the shelter in scriptures. And I feel like Krishna came to almost show that a pure devotee, no matter what circumstance, he's letting them glorify him in this also. And then he didn't kill Kaliya till they came up and, had a chance to pray to him, glorify him. Mm-hmm. And then then he was probably satisfied, or I don't know the future of the further verses. But my reflection was that even how much of the karma of Kaliya affects the immediate associates, so that, like, was their devotion more stronger than his bad karma, so that they still got the opportunity to, pray to Krishna and get Krishna's mercy? Like in the association, how much does the other person's karma affect you? If someone is a non-devotee and one is a devotee.
They weren't touched. They weren't touched.
They weren't touched. Okay.
No, most people are touched by, you have unwholesome association, you become spoiled by that unwholesome association. So I just see how elevated they were. Not only they remained faithful to a bad guy as the wife to their bad guy husband, but they weren't affected at all by his bad conduct. Rather, I've been reluctant to say it, but it's kind of obvious. I don't know two things. I don't know who their teacher was, but they had some superlative teacher, and they were good students, superlative students of a superlative teacher. So to get to where they were, and we don't know who that is, but it's just a principle that how did they get what they got? They got it from someone, from somewhere or someone. And because scriptures are available all over the place, and they have to have a good teacher, not just good scripture. So, second is, I haven't found it stated by our acharyas anywhere, but perhaps one of the reasons why Krishna did with Kaliya what he did with Kaliya means lifting him to the point of pure devotion, so that the light went on, and he understood the error of his ways. He came out of ignorance and came to surrender to Krishna. Because his wives were who they were, Krishna did with Kaliya what he did, at least in part, because his wives are so special. Special, super special. I mean, super special. Personalities. And here's the wives. And here's him. And he's a bad guy. So he didn't kill him. He purified him. That's one angle. Like, again, I haven't found that explanation in any of our commentaries from our acharyas, but it's kind of intuitive. Besides whatever else might have been potentially within him, his wives had a big part of Krishna's mercy upon him. Okay. One more. Two more. No, one more. Just way in the back of the corner. And then we're going to end.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. My question is related to what the Mataji was asking. So I was asking, the Nagapatnis were so elevated that, they could understand the philosophy. So their prayers were all philosophies. And regarding that, I was just reflecting upon what was done in Bhagavad Gita, right? Like Arjuna, the Pandavas were known as the most exalted devotees. But for a devotee like Arjuna, Krishna had to explain the philosophy so that, he could go and fight against adharma. So I was thinking why this thing, they were even considered as, most exalted devotee compared to even Bhakta Prahlad. And Bhakta Prahlad was actually, even he knew the philosophy of bhakti. But Arjuna could not understand the philosophy until Krishna explained.
Well, careful now. Please be careful. It sounds a little speculative, Here's another lens to look through. Krishna arranged for Arjuna to get in the state of bewilderment, so that Krishna could speak Bhagavad Gita for us. Because Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna. He wasn't in La La Land like the rest of us. He's an eternal associate of Krishna. And by his internal potency, Krishna arranged for Arjuna to get bewildered and say, no, that's not Arjuna. It's yes. And then in the end, it's yes. And then there are a number of events during the course of the Mahabharata, during the course of the war, where Arjuna has some other, pause. But it's a loving pastime between Krishna and Arjuna. And Arjuna is eligible for that loving exchange with Krishna, where he appears to be out to lunch. There's some nice ones. We'll hear a few of those nice ones during the weekend. I think we should end, yes? Huh? Online. Just do the online question. We'll end.
This is from Nanda Tanuja Prabhu.
From whom?
Nanda Tanuja.
Okay.
Why would Lord Brahma get a consequence, as he did not really separate the Gopas but Maya Gopas? He brought Krishna close to elderly gopis and get their love.
Okay, this is off topic. So I don't take off topic questions. For a reason. Here's the reason. I give a weekly class to the Chinese devotees, and they have a tendency to ask off-topic questions. So I have a flashcard and said, Prabhupada said, and it's true. First, is this on topic? No, but I have curiosity. Okay, send me the curiosity question, but let's not, because Prabhupada, we just spent half hour, 40 minutes just talking on one topic. We go off topic and everything was going to be lost. So stay on topic, please, and you can ask your off topic question another time. No problem. Srila Prabhupada.